Alright guys, SpaceGoats here, back for a continuation on this new printer I got. Let's do a quick assembly of it, and it doesn't take that long. Hopefully I can get this done in an allotted video time, so I'm not running too long on the video. But let's get these tubes unwrapped. Extrusion unwrapped, I guess, not tubes. Wow. Guess my X-Acto knife is not very X-Acto. Haven't sharpened the blade in quite a while, apparently. Alright. Here's an upright. And here's the other upright. I do like this this newer version compared to my OG printer. When I first started printing, I wanted something, well, economical, to see if I was going to even like it, if it's something I could do, you know. I've tinkered around with it and done a few things, kind of made it better. Haven't ever done any kind of software update or board update, which I plan on doing that actually pretty soon. I put the metal drive system in for the filament, the bowed-in tube on it. That's really about all I've done to it. Haven't upgraded servos, or sorry, stepper motors, not servos. Haven't done any of that kind of stuff, so one day, maybe. Right now, they're so busy working, the old girl don't have time to get improvements done, you know? Alright, this here is going to be one of the crossbars for the Gantry system. Have to look in the old picture book here in a minute and see which one is which. This one should be the top one. Has holes drilled on either end, so that should set straight on top. So we'll put that up there. This one here will be the drive bar that goes back and forth on the system. Not sure what direction it's going to mount though. Probably something like this. So we'll put it here. And these are our gantry bars. So spread it on both ends. You see in the old picture which one goes where. I think I have an idea which one goes where, but let's grab the old picture book. Does this bar number 8 and bar number 9, but which one's which? Left profile, right profile. Left profile is from which side of the printer though? Probably looking from the front side, I suppose. What is... And the directions are a little, pictures are great, but not as detailed as I was hoping for. Where is, I did it. I'm going to need this, and I'm going to need, oh, here we go. That's one of them anyways. See what this thing does is you have the wheels and stuff on here, and when it's hanging on the bars, these things just slide up through here like this, and that's it. That's how they run. Well, on here, if it's too loose or too tight, which actually, man, that's actually really close. This right here is a eccentric nut. Once you loosen up the back of it, if you turn this here while separate from the actual screw, there's a eccentric ring back in the back, and this will loosen and tighten this drive pulley or roller, you know, back and forth, so it'll actually adjust the tension of it. But there's also one on the printer head also, right here, does the same thing. And there's one on this one, right here. This plate here is going to go on the opposite side. Something like right here. But I'm going to get these mounted, so I'm going to set this here. And where is my, there it is. This is what I was looking for right here. This is my Z-axis stop switch. This is going to attach kind of like right down here. And then when the Z-axis moves up and down, it's going to hit on the bottom of the, let's see, this is going to sit in here like this. It's going to hit right here on this. So that'll have to be adjusted here in a minute. So I got to figure out which side is which on these stupid things. That's for mounting that. That has holes on that for the stepper motor, I guess. But we're not using that. Huh, okay. Well, apparently these bars are almost exactly the same as the original one. I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? The difference is the power supply is not external on these. On my old system, the power supply is hung up on the top up there. On the new one, the power supply is built into the actual frame down below. So all this bottom base is all been pre-done. You just got to hook up the wires and stuff to it. So like the servo motor's got to be hooked up. Actually, that servo motor's already hooked up, so I got to hook up the filament and the Z-axis servo motor and the Y-axis servo motor. Got to be all hooked up, but that's about it though. All right, we got 40s long screws. Get a proper Allen wrench. These screws here. Let's see. Just make sure there's no real direction on that, how that goes. So I'm going to stand this thing up, something like this. Use my fat belly. Come on now. All right. Just like that. Once this part's done on both of these gantry uprights, you no longer will have to flip this thing up, I don't think, other than maybe pull a couple wires out, but yeah. Just doesn't matter on that one either. Should have grabbed the fire tool for this. One more. All right. There. Upright's done. See if you can tell. I don't know how well you can see that. There's a little bit of play in this on one of the wheels, so I'm going to have to adjust the eccentric on that so it doesn't wiggle. And when it wriggles, it actually lifts the plate a little bit. And I will change those springs out on this plate before I do anything with it, because those springs suck. Matter of fact, let's do this. Plate. These are the adjustment wheels. These right here adjust the height of this plate. And when we get ready to start fire this thing up for the first time and run it, I will kind of walk you guys through how I do it. Is it the right way? Ah, who the hell knows? I'm a firm believer there's there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Everyone has their own way of doing it. Just because the way I do it doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because the way you do it doesn't mean it's wrong either. It's just whatever works for you guys. Alrighty. This is a heated plate. So this is a brace to brace the wires on the back of the heated plate. And these are your springs. What it does though, why I have this off, see if I can adjust that that wheel. Well, you guys can see what I'm doing. That's what this little wrench in here is for. There it goes. Look at that. No more play. Actually, might be a little. When you guys are doing this, it was something you don't want this so tight that the wheels drag or anything like that. You want to be able to put. I mean, it should have a little bit of tension to it, but you should be able to move it pretty easily. And those wheels are pushing real hard. It'll actually, I mean, I guess over time the actual rubber on the wheels will wear in a little bit, but like I say, you don't want it too tight. Probably pretty good right there. All right, we'll call that good. Let me, since I got it off, these are the new springs. They got a lot more tension to them. They're a lot stouter spring than these things here. These are pretty soft. These are the new ones. Same spring that's going to be in this kit here, just because I had ordered a kit a long time ago and they came with, I don't know how many of the springs they came with. A whole bunch of them. So I have extras. Over time, they may loosen up a little bit. Probably not enough to result in having to change them all the time. But I don't know for sure how that works. But they will lose tension. Open the head's not in the way, and you guys can see. All you gotta do is line these long screws back up. Make sure you put the new spring in. And like that. Put our wheels back on. Maybe. There we go. Alright, well, what I like to do when I put these back on, I'll put them on, get them started, get a little bit of, give them a little turn, and let them kind of run up there until they just contact with just a little bit of tension. That's all I want to start with. There we go, just like that. And then what I'll do is I'll come up here and I'll go like, well, let me see, that's about a half. There's 1, 2, get about 5 or 6 turns just to kind of suck it down. Basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make it to where I'll do like initial bed level here shortly and get it closer, but I want these springs to have enough tension and enough play in them to where I can raise and lower that bed either direction without, you know, without any issues. So I'll run it down here until they're about, oh hell, I don't know. Let's see, let's measure it real quick. I got tools floating around here somewhere. Don't know where they're at though. Where is... let's see what we got here. Sliding. Yeah, you get about 700 thousandths roughly, 3/4 of an inch, probably good enough gap on that spring, so I can raise and lower that spring as needed. So, all right, whoever just goofing around with this stuff and not getting this thing done. I'm 18 minutes into this video and I'm not even close to being done yet. Hate to make this a two-parter. That's done. That's done. That's done. We can't put a top bar in yet, but what we can do is just hang this. That's already adjusted. It's actually adjusted really well. I like it. This should. Nope, other way. There it goes. It's set just like that. There's a hole right here for this opening right here for that screw to go through. So that'll set just like that. This is our drive. It's got a little bit more weight to it, but it's actually set good too. Alright. Now I need to, what do we need to do here? Oh, I know what we need to do. Let's turn this around. Now this here is going to be our Z-axis drive right here. So this is actually going to bolt right here, right down there like so. Is where that's going to bolt at. So let's pop that off. What screws do they want for the Z-axis? M4-18s, M4-16s, M4-18. That's what they want. So should be a 15 torques. That goes right there. That goes right there. Give it a little snug. A little snug. Alright, that's our stepper motor. The Z-axis, and that's what's gonna, this here will thread down through the drive here in a minute. And there's Allen wrenches on this that locks it in place. It's hot in my room today. Like I said, this is going to attach right to this side, so we'll do that here in a minute. I don't care about zip ties. That's the top cover. So let's do this. Put this on here. Like so. So this is our screw drive. Now there is another mod that can be done, which I haven't done it. They change out this insert right here and they put a different style thread screw insert. It's supposed to be a lot more accurate and mo better. I haven't done it, but yeah, I know it can be done. So we need to loosen this up. Good. Oh, come on now. Did the thread go in there? No. Let me give that a little tap. Oh, she's a little snug. I think it went in there far enough. Yeah, I like that going in a little deeper. That's what she said. Yeah, that ain't stout enough. Let me find a parting tool. Where? Ah, there it goes. Wow, I've never had one do that before. A little stout on the tool there. All right, we'll tighten this back up. Alrighty, now the stepper motor turns and it raises and lowers this thing up, just like such. Let me go ahead and put this on. Oops, wrong bar. I'm going to go ahead and put that one on. Wow. Industrial plastic right here, boys, I tell you. Now there may be, which there is, a little spring to this. You put it on for the first time. Which there is a little bit. It's not bad. It is maybe 1/16 of an inch off, maybe, if that. It wasn't much. Basically what you're doing is you're hoping this stuff was cut straight from the factory on the bottom, and if it wasn't, then from here to here that distance is pretty big, so you may be just a few thousandths off down here on your straightness of your cut, which will affect the cut 18 inches up a lot. Alright, that's that. Here's our fancy little end caps. That's that. Now we have to do the extruder on the, I think that would be called the x-axis. Alright, now let's see about getting this x-axis put on. That's going to require, like I said, this is the extruder. And really, I need screws. What screws are they calling for? Just make sure there's not a whole lot left. 32 M416. These little guys right yonder. Now, according to the book, they're probably, and I should have done it, not a big deal. They're saying to attach the bar on the table. To me, it don't make that big of a difference. Put it up here, you hold it, put the screw through the hole. Actually, yeah, it might make a big difference. It sure does. Yeah, see, I brain farted on this one. Not following the directions. Getting ahead of myself because the screw's going from the backside. See? This is what happens when you guys don't follow directions. You don't do it the SpaceGoats way, alright? Learn from my mistake. Thing is, I need to take that back apart anyways. I need to loosen it up. It's a little tweaked. The bottom is a little tweaked on the bars, so something else to watch out for apparently. Won't take just a second to fix, but if you notice in the video here, and see how well you can see that. I can a little bit. When this bar comes up, there's a pretty good gap right here, and that should be flush. So one of these bars just turned or cockeyed a little bit, so I'll have to do some adjustment to that on the bottom. What I'll do is I'll loosen it up, put it all together, this top part all together, and then I'll come back and I'll tighten it back up, the bottom back up in just a second. So let's put that over there. Get my two little screws. Now what I can do raise this off. Since I hooked up this screw already. A little bit of pressure on it, and she'll spin right off, like that. All right. Now see, that's a pain in the butt anyways. That's going to require... Alright, this is one point you're actually going to have to use their Allen wrench in the kit. Which one is it? Oh, should be this one. Yep. Alright. Look, you're going to have to bring this screw all the way through. Now, see, the head won't go all the way through right here. So, that screw is going to have to go all the way through there. Just you double check with their drawings. Yeah, sure is. That makes that a pain in the butt. You're going to put that screw through here like this. And come in here and hold it with the Allen wrench. Get it started. And see if I can do this somewhat organized. I'll hold it. Come on, bugger. You know, if they would have put threads in the other direction, there it goes. It would have been a little easier. Put the threads actually on this plate here, not on the extrusion, where you could thread it from the opposite direction. That would have been much easier for somebody to do. It's something to think about, guys, when you guys are putting this together. You might need some tools like this to be able to get these screws started. All right. Tight. And that one's tight. Alright. Let's try this again. Actually, before I get too far ahead, I said I want to loosen these up just a little bit. There we go. Now we'll put this back on. Hopefully everything does what it's supposed to. You know what I mean? Alright, look at that. Now we have that on. This. slides on. I don't know how well can you guys see that. Am I getting too tall? Let me bring this down a little bit more. Alright, like I said, this is your extruder right here. You got the little rubber guard over the tip of it and stuff, kind of protect you during chipping, but that's the extruder. So let's put this. Really? Yeah, fighting me all the way, aren't you? Why is that? Because the screws are too long, that's why. Alright, fine. Let's loosen this one. Loosen that one. There it is. Alright. Extruder's on. So I can tighten this up. I'll tighten this one up. Alrighty. Now we'll put this back on. Alright, that's it. Got this to put on. Got that to put on, which I'm not too worried about it. This is going to be our belt tensioner. It's going to slip on over here. So I do need to take this one screw out. Apparently, because this slips on over here. I never ever messed with this belt tensioner like this, so it's going to be kind of interesting. This screw here goes on from the other side. Hold it in place. That's it. It's kind of cool. Alright, let's tighten the bottom back up now that it's all together, except for the, what is that? That'd be the Z height stop sensor micro switch. Alrighty. That'll be it. Now, one of the cool features about this printer compared to the old style, there is a little toolbox right here that they built into the frame. That was something that on the old printer, my original one, that's something that people have made files for, little printer files that you can 3D print off, and they actually incorporated that into this printer. Kind of cool. The main board that controls everything is right here. There's a fan on the bottom. Another upgrade that people do is Noctua fans. They install, instead of Noctua, I think they're Noctua 40mm fans. Alright, now this is your Z-top sensor. Excuse me. it's going to basically, you line these T-nuts up, drop in the little slot, and there's a stop right here on the bottom of it. Right down here, make a little catch, and it sets right on the edge of the frame. Give these a little turn, and those little T-nuts will spin inside. Lock you in place. That's it. Except this will come over to here. It'll click on this, and it'll run down. It'll click on this, and that sets your zero height. Then you go in and you adjust your bed level to that zero height when it does the auto home on it. But now we're going to have to, where to go? Where to go? Got parts and pieces floating around everywhere. Looks like an earthquake on the camera. Oh, here we go. This is our belt. This is the only belt we need. The bottom belt right here is pre-installed. This belt right here controls the head. Controls the X-axis on the head. Or I think it's X. I don't really remember. Extruder X. Yeah, because this one goes to the extruder. Now this is your belt right here. So the idea is, I didn't get to show you, on the bottom of this here there's a little groove. All right, there is belt. There's a groove right here that this thing slots into. Then you take your belt, you're going to want to feed it through here, and you got to have the teeth up on the bottom, because there's a gear right here, a cog, that's made for this belt. So feed it through here and make sure it's straight, that it's lined up on that T. Then you want to come up here, feed it back up to the top, just like so. Alright, it's on the gear, and this is going to come under there. It's under your drive wheels. This is the one I probably should have put on first before I decided to put this belt tensioner on it. I'm kind of curious to see how hard it is to do it without having it loose. In case you ever want to change this belt, kind of want to know. I want to know what it's like to change it, you know what I mean? So we're going to try this without taking it off. So you want to go like this, get a pokey thing, actually they don't give you a whole lot of room inside this little fixture. I will admit to that. Yeah, it might be too much of a pain without taking it all apart. They don't give you no room to make this, to make a corner inside. So let me take it back off real quick. Not a big deal. Whoops. New system, new setup. I'm not used to it, because the old one, my OG one over here, this is all open right here, so it's not. You can see the belt. You just run it, put it on. That's it. Done. No issues with it. So this one here is going to require. Let's just take this thing completely out. There's the pulley inside, so I'm going to wrap this around here, teeth side down, put this back in the box, put a bit. Hey, your printer just got finished. Put our belt tensioner back on. Slide this back over the hoe. I get my big dumb fingers to work right. That. Now, belt's loose. Like I said, there's a little slot down here on the bottom of this extruder that this belt just kind of clicks into. Like that. That's all it takes. Now you run this up here, put a little tension on it, it flows. There we go, we have a printer. Except for mounting this thing, which is not a big deal. Take this off. We'll have to hook a couple wires up, but that'll just take a second. This couple of T-nuts. T-nuts, not T-bagging. Unless you're into that kind of thing. I will admit, T-nuts can be kind of a pain in the butt. But we got it. Alright, now we got a control panel. Wow, I was going to say we'll do a peel on this thing, but they got the plastic up underneath the bezel. I wasn't very satisfied at all. That sucks. Alright, we do have a cable. Got the pretty rainbow cable over here. It is keyed, so it'll only go in one way. Cable on. Here's your control panel. Just like such. Now we got to hook up the stepper motors. So spin this thing around so I can see what's going on, because this one, that one, this one, where am I? Okay, here we go. Okay, the little small one right here is your Z-axis limit switch. So it's going to plug in right here. This is your Z-axis stepper motor. And like I said, they are keyed and slotted, so they'll only go on one way. This one is going to be the X-axis limit switch. This one is a pain, but it can be done. It's through a little hole. Hardest part is just getting it started. Once you get started, then you can kind of just push on it. There it goes. That's X. Then we have X stepper. Goes right here. know a big head's probably in the way, but y'all gonna have to deal with it. We're almost done. And when I shut my bedroom door, because my computers and everything running in here, my room goes from nice air conditioned room to 90 degrees real quick. The only thing in my room that's cool right now is the water cooled computer. And this is the extruder. Alright, that's done. I gotta plug in my tube, but that's just mediocre stuff. That's basic assembly. And on the tube, all you're going to do is, the one's already installed on the head, so that's not an issue. You use one of these here. It threads in right here. Where's one of these baby, not that one, this one. Give it a little tug. You take the stock tube and you push it in here. This is one of those quick locks. I don't really like them. They don't seem to work very well for me, but it's in there. These are little safety locks. Sit there and pin it in there like such, so they don't pull out. And that's it. All we need to do now is zero it and turn it on. Yeah, I think we'll have to fire this thing up here in just a minute. And let me go ahead and hang my, now on my printers, on the book, they tell you to put this thing up here on top. I don't like doing that. I personally like hanging mine on the side. Up here at the top, it gets too much arc to your filament going into the roller, or to the feeder. I like to put mine over here on the side. Little shorter footprint, not a big deal. So let's slide this thing back a little bit. Where is and all these extra bags of hardware now? Empty bags of hardware. There should be these old screws. Ah, there it is. There they are. A couple of screws and a couple of T-nuts. These are going to be a T20, looks like. Or something like that. Yeah, 3mm, something like that. I don't know. Screw in. T-nut started. Screw in. T-nut started. And T-nuts in a slot. That one's in. Here we go. Now I'm ready to hang some filament on it. Alright guys, well, she's assembled. I don't know how long this took, but yeah, maybe 30 minutes total. Something like that. And that's talking and BSing and having to stop the video once or twice to go and check on a critter. But you know, build time about 30 minutes. Not too bad. So we will shut this thing camera off and I will do a operational check and another video on setting it up for its first print and getting it zeroed and homed and everything else. So, all right, guys, like and subscribe. Go check out my merch on Amazon, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. And don't forget, this weekend we're doing our giveaway on the Mini ITX system.